Every January looks the same: big goals, shiny planners, a surge of hype. Wake up earlier, get back to the gym, eat real food, learn that skill, launch the business. And then 2 weeks later, the spark fades, the excuses pile up, and I'll start Monday becomes a loop. Not because you're weak, but because motivation was never designed to carry long loads. It's a matchstick, not a furnace. The Stoics understood this long before habit apps existed. Consistency isn't a mood, it's a method. It's the quiet line that separates people who steer their life from people who get steered by it. Discipline outlasts motivation, because discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It asks, what's the next right action? So here's the challenge. Can you train your mind to show up every single day, no matter what? Can you stop negotiating with feelings and start honoring a standard? That's what we're building here. A Stoic engine of relentless consistency. Start where mornings try to beat you. When the alarm rings and your brain bargains for 5 more minutes, remember, purpose comes before comfort. You don't wait to feel ready, you choose to be ready. Think about the basics you never debate: brushing your teeth, locking your front door. You do them because they must be done. Treat your key habits the same way. 3 moves to make this real one. Make it automatic, not optional. Pick 2 non-negotiables that matter for your health and focus, say, a 20-minute walk at sunrise and a high-protein breakfast. Put them in your calendar like a doctor's appointment. No vote, no vibes, just show up. 2, reduce decisions, reduce drag. Decision fatigue is real. The more tiny choices you face, the more likely you'll bail. Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Pre-plan breakfast. Block your phone with app limits before bed. Remove the friction so execution feels like sliding, not climbing. 3, use if-then rules when energy dips. If I feel drained after work, then I do a 10-minute micro workout at home. If I want to skip my walk because of weather, then I march indoors while listening to an audiobook. You don't break the chain, you shrink the step. Remember, feelings are weather, principles are climate. You'll have foggy days, tired evenings, and moments where the couch is louder than your goals. That's fine. Consistency isn't perfection, it's presence. Even a 50% effort done daily beats a 100% effort that shows up once a month. Ask yourself tonight, what 2 habits become mine no matter what standards this month? When will I do them? What friction can I remove in advance? Write the answers. Set the alarms. Stage the environment. Because once discipline is automatic, excuses don't have a door to walk through. This is how we move from I hope to I do. This is how you become the person who executes, brick by brick, day by day. Stoicism, breath. Here's the trap most people fall into. They waste their willpower debating. Should I work out today? Should I write that report now or later? Should I skip this one time? Every small debate drains energy and builds friction. And before you know it, you've talked yourself out of progress. The Stoics had a different answer: eliminate the choice. Certain actions must happen daily, no questions asked, no debate, no hesitation, just execution. Think about it. The modern world is a buffet of easy exits. 100 distractions, 1,000 excuses, comfort waiting at every corner. But here's the truth. Every time you give in, even just once, you're not making a harmless choice. You're weakening your foundation. One skipped workout today becomes 2 tomorrow. One excuse multiplies into an avalanche. The strongest men and women know this. That's why they refuse to negotiate with weakness. The Stoic philosophy was simple. Do what is right, not what feels good. Feelings are weather. Principles are stone. Real strength is mastery of the self, and consistency is the highest form of mastery. When you act from discipline rather than emotion, You take control of your destiny. You build momentum, and momentum makes you unstoppable. The more you show up, the more natural it becomes until action itself is part of your identity. Every small act is a vote for who you are becoming. Do you want to be the person who hesitates or the one who executes? The weak wait for motivation. The strong listen to that quiet inner voice that demands excellence every single day. And yes, it will be uncomfortable, but discomfort fades, regret doesn't. Each time you push through resistance, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses. Perfection isn't required. Relentless progress is. This is how discipline becomes freedom. You are no longer trapped by moods, temptations, or doubt. You act because it must be done. That is true command over your life. So start simple every morning. Remind yourself, I don't need to feel ready. I need to act. Think like a warrior preparing for battle. They don't wait for perfect weather. They step forward regardless of how they feel. Build your own non-negotiable list. 3 to 5 actions tied directly to your long-term goals and values. Maybe it's 30 minutes of exercise at the same time every day. Maybe it's reading 10 pages before bed. Maybe it's writing 1 paragraph daily toward that book or project. Keep it realistic but firm. No skipping, no debate. Over time, this list will become as automatic as brushing your teeth. And when that happens, consistency won't just be what you do, it'll be who you are. Your non-negotiables should be as routine as brushing your teeth. Simple, consistent, automatic. The more you weave these habits into your identity, the less effort it takes to maintain them. And with each repetition, your self-discipline grows stronger until consistency is no longer something you try to uphold. It becomes who you are. When resistance shows up, remind yourself, discipline over comfort. Resistance isn't a red light, it's a green one. It signals you're on the right path. Every hesitation is an invitation to build resilience. The mind craves ease, but true growth is born from struggle. So when comfort calls, don't step back, step forward. Every challenge you overcome is proof of your strength. Consistency isn't built in grand gestures, but in small choices, one decision at a time. Each choice is a fork in the road, discipline or comfort. Choose discipline every single time. Here's where most people fail. They focus on actions, not identity. They say, I'll try to wake up early. I'll try to work out. Trying is weak. It leaves room for escape. The Stoics didn't try. They internalized discipline as part of their character, not a switch to flip when convenient. Epictetus said it best. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. That's the blueprint. Your actions must align with your identity. Think and act as though the disciplined version of you already exists. Discipline shouldn't feel like an external burden. It should feel like a principle that defines your very life. If you want to be consistent, stop labeling yourself as someone who struggles with discipline. See yourself as someone who is disciplined. Just like an athlete doesn't debate whether to train, they train, because that's who they are. The disciplined person doesn't ask, should I do this today? They act because it's embedded in their identity. The stronger your identity is tied to discipline, the more natural your habits become. Your identity isn't fixed. It's forged, shaped by the choices you repeat daily. Every action is a vote for the person you are becoming. And when discipline becomes who you are, not just what you do, you step onto the path of mastery over yourself. Every action you take is a vote for the person you are becoming. Follow through on your commitments often enough, and discipline stops feeling forced. It becomes second nature. But break your promises to yourself, and inconsistency becomes your default. This isn't just about hitting goals. It's about redefining who you are. Every time you choose discipline, you reinforce the truth that you are someone who values reliability, strength, and persistence. Visualize the person you aspire to be. Each day, remind yourself, my choices must align with that version of me. Every small decision shapes your character. Are you the type who hits snooze or the one who rises with determination? Do you procrastinate or do you face challenges head on? The Stoics understood this well. Actions define identity. That's why consistency cannot be negotiable. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. Even on days when you only show up at 50%, it's still better than not showing up at all. Because discipline isn't tested when things are easy. It shines when motivation is absent, when excuses seem louder, when obstacles block your path. Each time you push forward despite resistance, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your circumstances. Every repetition builds resilience. Every choice to persist adds another layer of steel to your mind. Comfort whispers to stop, but comfort is the enemy of greatness. Progress only comes through embracing hardship. Look at history. The greatest warriors, thinkers, and leaders didn't rise by seeking ease. They forged their strength in struggle. Growth happens when you push past fatigue, boredom, and frustration. Each time you do, you add another brick to the fortress of your discipline, making yourself harder to break. This isn't a temporary challenge, it's a lifelong commitment. Every day, every decision must reinforce your identity as someone disciplined and unstoppable. Start your mornings by declaring your commitment to consistency. Write a mantra, repeat it when resistance creeps in. Visualize yourself standing firm, acting without hesitation, no matter the obstacle. Surround yourself with people and influences that elevate your standards. Distance yourself from distractions and those who normalize complacency. Because discipline is not something you do, it's who you are. And when you embody it fully, you become unshakable. Your environment is shaping you every single day. If you spend your time around the undisciplined, their habits will seep into yours like water into stone. But when you surround yourself with people who value discipline, who live with high standards, your own resolve grows tenfold. That's why the Stoics sought out influences that strengthen their character through philosophy, through the company of great minds, through holding themselves to higher expectations. To make this mindset unshakable, you need rituals. Begin and end your day with actions that anchor you in discipline. Journal your daily wins, recite a Stoic quote that reminds you of your purpose or plan tomorrow with precision before you sleep. These small repeated acts are not trivial. They are the bricks of the fortress you are building. Over time, execution stops being a struggle and becomes as natural as breathing. Discipline is not just about pushing through resistance. It's about making the process automatic. The more consistently you practice, the less effort it requires. Each setback becomes a lesson. Each challenge becomes training for the next stage of growth. Resistance is not an interruption. It is the very path that shapes your character. The Stoics lived this truth. Every act of discipline is a triumph. Every time you push forward, you affirm control over your destiny. Consistency is the foundation upon which greatness is built. And when you stay the course, your resilience becomes undeniable, your path becomes unshakable. Discipline does not mean you'll never feel temptation. It means you refuse to let temptation derail you. That's why discipline is freedom. It frees you from excuses, from weakness, from regret. Your habits define you, and when they align with discipline, you become unstoppable. So don't say, I'll try to be consistent. Say, I am someone who shows up. Ask yourself, would a disciplined person make an excuse right now. If the answer is no, then neither should you. And understand this consistency requires suffering, not the kind that breaks you, but the kind that forges you into something greater. The Stoics called comfort a slow poison. It dulls your spirit, weakens your resolve, and steals your potential. Embrace the suffering, because that's where true discipline is born. To grow stronger, you must be willing to face discomfort, challenge, and resistance. Seneca said it best. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor strengthens the body. Fire does not destroy the strong, it refines them. Yet most people quit too soon because they mistake discomfort for failure. The truth is, discomfort is proof that you are growing. Every time resistance shows up, you stand at a crossroads. Will you quit or will you endure? The Stoic always chooses endurance. They understand that pushing through pain, whether physical or mental, is what separates the ordinary from the exceptional. Hardship is not something to avoid. It is the very path to refinement. Strength is not built in comfort. It is forged through consistent effort in the face of suffering. History's greatest athletes, scholars, and warriors did not achieve greatness by avoiding struggle. They ran toward it, knowing that each trial would sharpen their minds, toughen their spirits, and leave them wiser. You too must adopt this philosophy. See pain not as an enemy, but as a teacher. Every setback, every ache, every obstacle is shaping you into the person you are meant to become. Growth has a cost, sacrifice, effort, and hardship. Just as fire refines metal, adversity refines the human spirit. Every struggle you endure carves out a stronger, more disciplined version of yourself. Even the decision to endure in itself is a victory. With each trial, you invest in your own development. And here's the truth: the more you face hardship, the more resilient you become. What once felt impossible will one day feel like nothing more than a stepping stone. The mind, just like the body, grows under pressure. The Stoic does not complain about difficulty, they welcome it as proof of their strength. Every obstacle is fuel. Every challenge you overcome leaves you more disciplined and more prepared for life's trials. To be unbreakable, you must not only survive hardship, but thrive within it. Endurance is not simply holding on, it is rising above pain with a mindset that sees beyond the moment. When exhaustion sets in, remember, strength is built in weakness. When doubt whispers, know that belief is forged in the fire of uncertainty. There is no triumph without struggle, no wisdom without suffering, no transformation without perseverance. Hardship is the greatest teacher. It strips away fear, hesitation, and weakness, leaving behind only the core of your strength. So don't resist discomfort, embrace it. Lean into it, let it mold you, sharpen you, and transform you into the unshakable force you were meant to become. When others give up, that's your signal to push harder. Every struggle is not just an obstacle, it's a sharpening stone for your mental blade. Each test of endurance makes your self-discipline stronger, shielding you from distractions and setbacks. Train yourself to crave difficulty, because the challenges you face today are the milestones of tomorrow's victories. The path to mastery has always been paved with struggle. The real question is never if hardship will come, but how you will respond when it does. The Stoics knew this truth: suffering is not to be feared. It is the fire that tempers steel. Just like a blacksmith hammers and heats raw metal until it becomes unbreakable, your trials are shaping you into the person you're meant to become. Every hardship is another hammer strike, another flame, refining your will and resilience. The greater the struggle, the greater the growth. No champion, no leader, no great mind has ever risen without enduring pain. So keep pushing forward. Keep strengthening your resolve. When the world tells you to stop, let your actions scream louder than their doubts. In the end, you won't just endure, you will thrive. Every moment of pain you overcome brings you closer to an indomitable will. Through suffering, you gain control over your destiny. Through endurance, you achieve greatness. And in that greatness, you find true freedom, the ability to remain unshaken, to persist where others falter, and to forge yourself into the strongest version of who you were born to be. With each hardship conquered, you build an internal fortress no external force can tear down. This is the path of the unyielding. The choice is always yours: surrender or rise. And the Stoic never surrenders. Reframe discomfort as growth pain, because every struggle is making you stronger. Each challenge is a lesson, a test of your endurance, a step toward resilience. When you accept discomfort as a necessary part of growth, your perspective changes. You stop fearing it and start welcoming it, knowing that on the other side of every struggle lies progress. Just as muscles grow only after being pushed to their limit, your mind and character strengthen with every hardship endured. Learn to see discomfort as proof that you're on the right path. Don't resist it, lean into it. Set yourself a challenge. Commit to 1 full month without skipping your key habit. Treat this as sacred, something that cannot be compromised, because with every day you uphold it, you carve another brick into the foundation of your unshakable self. Keep a journal. Track each day's progress to hold yourself accountable. When the temptation to quit creeps in, open that record and remind yourself why you began. Reflect on the long-term rewards of consistency and the heavy price of inconsistency. Add new layers of challenge, perhaps increase the intensity of your habit each week, or create a reward system that only activates when you follow through. This way, you're not just maintaining discipline, you're sharpening it under pressure. At the end of the month, look back and measure your growth. If you can commit for 1 month, imagine what a year could do for you. When doubt strikes, remind yourself this is where most people stop. But you are not most people. The majority will falter and make excuses, but you will push through. Every challenge is proof that you are different, that you're willing to do what others won't. Success is born in these exact moments when the weak give up and the strong endure. Refuse to see failure as an option. Each time you overcome resistance, you elevate yourself above the ordinary. Your perseverance in the face of difficulty defines who you are. Keep going, because you are not average. You are someone who endures, someone who succeeds. Now let's talk about decision fatigue. The more choices you leave yourself, the easier it is to fail. Consistency dies on the battlefield of indecision. The Stoics understood this well. Simplicity is power. The fewer decisions you have to make, the stronger your discipline becomes. Indecision breeds hesitation, and hesitation breeds doubt. Doubt chips away at your resolve until action disappears. A disciplined life is built on decisiveness and clarity. Marcus Aurelius said it best: if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Simple, direct, non-negotiable. Once you define your values, your actions become clear. Each unnecessary decision you eliminate preserves energy for what truly matters. That's why the most successful people build routines. They reduce friction, saving their mental strength for meaningful work. Every moment wasted in hesitation is a moment stolen from execution. Apply this to your own life. If you constantly debate whether you should act, you'll eventually talk yourself out of it. Instead, eliminate the option to quit. If something is important, it's not up for discussion, it's your duty. Set firm rules and follow them without exception. Treat discipline like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it grows. The less you negotiate with yourself, the more natural consistency becomes. The Stoic approach is clear. Remove the need for endless deliberation. Cut off weakness before it even speaks. If you want to rise above the average, stop giving your mind the chance to talk you out of greatness. Stoicism Breath. Chapter 9. The power of structure and decisiveness. Choose decisiveness over doubt, execution, over endless contemplation. Discipline thrives when life is structured, not left to chance. Wake up at the same time every day, follow a clear plan, strip away the temptations that lead to distraction. Automate as much of your routine as possible so your energy is spent acting, not debating. A structured life eliminates hesitation and builds unstoppable momentum. The best performers in any field don't wake up wondering if they'll work hard today. They've already decided. They don't rely on impulse. They operate from discipline. Decisiveness means removing unnecessary choices. Wear similar clothes daily if it saves energy. Plan your meals in advance so you don't fall into unhealthy options. Schedule exercise at a fixed time so it becomes automatic. The more structure you put in place, the fewer cracks you leave for weakness. Simplify every part of your day so it aligns with your long-term vision. Automate what can be automated. Eliminate distractions permanently. Consistency becomes natural when you reduce friction between thought and action. Every moment wasted debating is a moment stolen from execution. Think like a soldier. A soldier doesn't wake up wondering if he'll fight or whether to put on his armor. He acts because his training has removed the need for choice. That's the mindset you must adopt toward your goals. Your habits should be non-negotiable. Your structure, absolute. Your discipline, ingrained so deeply that hesitation vanishes. Make your path simple, direct, and unwavering, and you'll find that consistency stops being a struggle. It becomes who you are. The Stoic does not waver. Discipline does not hesitate. You must become the kind of person who follows through every single time, no exceptions, no compromises. Automate your discipline. Wake up at the same time every day without fail. Set reminders to keep yourself accountable. Ruthlessly remove distractions, turn off notifications, create a workspace free from clutter, and build boundaries around your time so nothing pulls you off course. Your habits should be fixed, requiring no debate. If you say you'll do it, you do it, period. No second guessing, no searching for an easier path. Commitment must be absolute because even the smallest crack of doubt opens the door to inconsistency. Train yourself to execute no matter how you feel. How? Here's a powerful rule. If the thought of skipping crosses your mind, you must do it twice as hard. When hesitation shows up, don't retreat. Use it as a signal to push harder, to accelerate. Turn doubt into fuel. The more you practice this, the weaker resistance becomes until hesitation no longer signals stop, but screams go. And then comes the real battle, the mental warfare. Your mind is both your greatest enemy and your greatest weapon. It will try to deceive you. It will whisper that you can rest now, that you can start later, that today's effort doesn't matter. But every time you obey those whispers, you feed weakness and starve discipline. The Stoic wins because he refuses to be tricked by his own mind. He masters it, bends it, and commands it to serve his higher purpose. He knows that true power is not in yielding to fleeting emotions, but in controlling them, directing them toward growth, discipline, and strength. This is how you win. This is how you build an unbreakable will. Your mind is a battlefield, and every thought is a soldier fighting either for your growth or against it. If you don't take control, the undisciplined parts of your psyche will. They'll create excuses, sow doubt, and lure you back into comfort. But comfort is a slow death. It erodes ambition, weakens resolve, and kills greatness long before failure ever does. The Stoics understood this truth deeply. They trained themselves to master their thoughts, to direct them toward purpose instead of passivity. As Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. True freedom is not doing whatever you feel like in the moment. True freedom is discipline. It's control. It's the ability to act in alignment with your principles, even when your emotions scream otherwise. Think about it. The person swayed by fleeting feelings is not free. They are shackled by impulse, dragged around by whims, and enslaved by inconsistency. But when you rise above those emotions, when you master your mind, you become unbreakable. You build an inner fortress that no setback, no criticism, no external force can penetrate. Your mind will test you. It will whisper excuses, invite you to take the easy way, and try to convince you that hesitation is safety. But you must be stronger than its tricks. The moment you reclaim authority over your thoughts, you step into real power. That's when you stop being controlled by circumstance and start commanding your destiny. This is the foundation of all success. Mastery of the mind is not about grand, heroic moments. It's about the small, repeated acts of discipline every single day. The disciplined know that thoughts are not always reality, and emotions are signals, not orders. When fear or doubt rise, acknowledge them, but don't obey them. Treat hesitation as a call to action, a sign to push harder, not pull back. The more you practice this detachment, the stronger your mental armor becomes. That emotions stop being your masters and become your tools. Distractions lose their grip. Weakness fades. And what remains is a mind that commands itself and a person who cannot be shaken. Stoicism Breath. Chapter 12, The Forge of Mental Mastery. The road to mastering your mind is not short and it is not easy, but every effort, every step brings you closer to unshakable strength. When resistance shows up, don't retreat, harden your resolve. Every challenge is not an obstacle, but an invitation to grow stronger. Strength is never forged in comfort. It's built in those exact moments when you feel the urge to quit, but refuse to surrender. Think of adversity as a blacksmith's forge, shaping and tempering your mind into an unbreakable weapon. The battle for consistency is won in those quiet moments where most people falter. The more you choose discipline over impulse, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, hesitation fades away and action becomes instinct. You stop wasting energy debating whether you should act. You simply execute. Over time, self-discipline stops being a burden and becomes your very state of being. The strongest people don't wake up wondering if they'll train, work, or push forward. They already know the answer. Their discipline is ingrained so deeply that effort feels automatic. That is the level you must reach, where mastery of self is your default, where no obstacle, no fleeting emotion, no setback can shake you. When your mind tells you to quit, answer with conviction, I am stronger than this. Every moment of resistance is a chance to prove yourself, to turn weakness into fuel, to grow instead of retreat. Practice voluntary hardship. Do something uncomfortable every single day. Wake up earlier than you want to. Step into a cold shower. Train when your body begs for rest. Skip a comfort you take for granted. Each act of chosen discomfort builds resilience, and prepares you for life's inevitable battles. Over time, you stop fearing struggle and begin to welcome it, knowing it is sharpening you into someone who thrives under pressure rather than crumbles beneath it. This is how you transform hardship into your training ground and yourself into someone unstoppable. The more you expose yourself to difficulty, the less intimidating life's obstacles become. Strength is not measured only by physical endurance. It is mental resilience, the ability to remain unshaken in the face of doubt, fear, and weakness. Your mind must become a fortress, one that cannot be penetrated by excuses or distractions. Every challenge you endure today is a brick laid into that fortress. Every hardship, another layer of armor against self-doubt. When fatigue sets in, remind yourself with conviction, if the Stoics could endure immense suffering with unwavering resolve, then I too can push through this moment. Let those words become your shield, your inner armor. Over time, retreat stops being an option and persistence becomes your second nature. But discipline is not just about forcing yourself to act, it is about transforming action into identity. Practice long enough, discipline stops feeling like an external command and becomes a way of life, an art that shapes every part of your existence. The greatest masters of discipline do not see their habits as obligations. To them, discipline is not a burden, it is freedom. It is the highest form of self-respect, the proof that you command yourself completely. Without it, you are at the mercy of every impulse and distraction. With it, you're in control of your time, your energy, and your destiny. The Stoics understood this truth. Discipline, when deeply internalized, no longer feels restrictive. It becomes effortless, the purest expression of self-mastery. You don't wait for the right conditions, you create them. You don't react passively to challenges, you anticipate them. At this level, you no longer need to convince yourself to act. Action is instinctual. Every decision either reinforces strength or weakens it. Every choice builds or erodes your foundation. The person you become is not shaped by your intentions, but by what you repeatedly do. And when discipline becomes second nature, it stops feeling like effort. It becomes who you are. When discipline becomes effortless, consistency is no longer a struggle. It becomes who you are. The real key isn't chasing flawless perfection, but committing to steady progress. Perfection is an illusion, one that traps people in frustration, stagnation, and self-doubt. Those who chase it burn out, but those who focus on small, consistent steps are the ones who build lasting success. Every day you show up, even at 50%, is still a victory. Because progress is not made in rare, extraordinary efforts. It is built brick by brick, action by action, through quiet repetition. Think of discipline like a muscle. At first, it feels heavy, awkward, even painful, but with daily effort, it grows stronger. And what once felt impossible becomes natural. Over time, your brain rewires itself, your habits harden into instinct, and following through stops being a choice, it becomes automatic. That's when you know discipline has become part of your identity. And here's the truth. The modern world forgets the greatest power doesn't come from indulging every impulse, it comes from restraint. While most chase comfort and instant gratification, the disciplined stand firm, proving that true strength lies in self-control. Every time you resist distraction, every time you delay gratification, every time you choose the harder path, you're shaping yourself into someone unshakable. But discipline doesn't have to feel like punishment. In fact, it can be deeply satisfying. Find joy in your own mastery. Take pride in pushing beyond your limits, knowing that every hardship you conquer builds strength in ways comfort never could. Stop saying, I have to do this. Start saying, I get to do this. Because discipline is not a burden, it's a privilege, the highest form of self-respect and the ultimate path to freedom. Discipline is not a punishment, it is an opportunity, a chance to sculpt yourself into someone stronger, more resilient, and unshakable. When you learn to embrace this truth, obstacles stop being threats. They become invitations for growth. Every act of discipline, no matter how small, becomes a moment of triumph. What once felt like sacrifice begins to feel like empowerment. What once seemed like a struggle turns into a source of pride. The secret to making discipline an art is to make it inseparable from your identity. It can't just be something you do, it has to be who you are. Over time, discipline stops feeling like an external force pressing against you. Instead, it becomes the natural foundation of your daily life, the anchor on which every choice rests. That's when discipline transforms from restriction into freedom. You no longer ask, will I follow through today? The answer is always yes. Your consistency becomes a statement of identity, not just action. And this is what separates those who dabble in discipline from those who master it. Choose one habit and commit not for a week, not for a month, but for a full year. Take something difficult and turn it into a game. Push yourself to improve just 1% each day and track your progress so you can see momentum grow. Soon you'll realize that this commitment is not just a practice, it's a declaration of who you are becoming. But discipline alone isn't enough. To truly last, you must build an unshakable mindset. Because action without the right mind will eventually collapse. A weak mind avoids discomfort and crumbles under pressure. A strong mind reframes obstacles as stepping stones. True mastery doesn't come in bursts of inspiration. It's forged in repetition in the days you don't feel like it, but show up anyway. The more you embrace resistance, the stronger you become. The more you train yourself to act despite discomfort, the more your discipline hardens into instinct. Those who chase the easy path remain weak. Those who accept difficulty as the cost of growth become unstoppable. The real key is this: stop giving yourself the option to fail. Don't avoid the struggle. Redefine it as part of the process, because every ounce of resistance you endure is shaping you into the strongest version of yourself. Do not let your mind entertain weakness. The moment hesitation appears, you must override it with immediate action. Hesitation is a choice, and the disciplined person chooses action. When your mind is trained for consistency, there is no debate, no questioning. You simply follow through. At this level, discipline stops being a struggle and becomes your natural state. You move through life with an unshakable confidence, knowing that no obstacle, no setback, no challenge can break you. To reach this state, you must anchor yourself in the 3 pillars of an unshakable mindset. First, radical self-honesty. Stop lying to yourself. Excuses and rationalizations only weaken your resolve. Be brutally honest about your flaws and face them head on. Second, unwavering commitment. There is no trying, there is only doing. Weak minds search for escape routes. Strong minds move forward without hesitation. Third, mastery over emotion. The disciplined person does not let feelings dictate actions. They act based on principle, not fleeting moods. With this mindset, failure becomes feedback, setbacks become lessons, and discomfort transforms into fuel. When excuses begin to form in your mind, speak out loud, I refuse to entertain weakness. Train yourself to take immediate action whenever hesitation arises. Build an anti-fragile mind by deliberately exposing yourself to discomfort so you grow stronger instead of breaking under pressure. But there's another battle you must face: the war against distractions. We live in a world engineered to hijack your attention. Notifications, endless scrolling, binge entertainment, and quick dopamine hits are designed to weaken your willpower and pull you away from what truly matters. Consistency dies when focus is scattered. The Stoics knew that external distractions are powerless against a disciplined mind. True focus comes not from controlling the world, but from mastering your own impulses. The most disciplined people don't wait for perfect silence or ideal conditions. They create inner fortresses that allow them to focus despite the noise. Your ability to eliminate distraction isn't just about turning off the outside world. It's about taming the inner urge to seek comfort and ease. Every time you resist a distraction, you reclaim power over your time, your energy, and your destiny. If you want to build consistency, you must rewire your brain to resist these modern temptations. Only then will your focus become a weapon and your discipline unshakable. Distractions are not harmless. They erode your ability to focus on what truly matters. Every time you give in to them, you strengthen impulsivity instead of discipline. Focus is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. But if you scatter your attention in 100 directions, that muscle weakens. The disciplined mind treats focus as sacred. It doesn't allow trivial noise, social media, endless entertainment, toxic influences to chip away at its momentum. The Stoics understood that mastery comes from the ability to direct your attention with precision, filtering out everything unnecessary. When you train yourself to block distractions, your productivity soars, your actions become deliberate, your mind becomes a fortress no outside force can penetrate. To do this, audit your environment. Does it support your discipline or sabotage it? Remove what weakens your focus time, block your day, and guard your energy as if it were gold. Protect your mind from decision fatigue and aimless debates. Your greatest work will come not from scattered effort, but from deep, undisturbed focus. Try it. Delete one major distraction from your life for 30 days and see how much further you move. But focus alone isn't enough. You must also learn to embrace monotony. Consistency is not glamorous. It's not fireworks and excitement. It's repetition over and over until success becomes inevitable. Most people quit when the work feels boring. They crave novelty, chasing the next shiny thing, hoping inspiration will carry them. But inspiration fades. Discipline remains. The Stoics knew this truth well. Mastery is forged in the mundane. Doing the same thing, especially when it feels boring, is what separates the average from the extraordinary. Think of the greatest athletes, warriors, and thinkers. They didn't rise to excellence by indulging in variety. They honed their craft through endless hours of repetition, refining the basics until they became instinct. Those who cannot stomach monotony never reach their full potential because they lack the patience to see discipline through to mastery. Repetition doesn't have to feel like a burden. It can be your greatest weapon. Instead of resisting the monotony, turn it into a challenge. Set streaks, track your progress, and compete with yourself. Each repetition isn't just a task, it's a step closer to the person you want to become. When you see every small action as part of something bigger, the process itself gains purpose. Consistency is not about waiting for inspiration. It's about showing up every single day until success becomes inevitable. At this stage, you've already laid the foundation. You've disciplined your mind, eliminated distractions, embraced monotony, and strengthened your focus. Now it's time to ascend to the next level to become unstoppable. And being unstoppable is not just persistence. It's building a mindset so unshakable that setbacks don't derail you, fatigue doesn't weaken you, and adversity doesn't slow you down. It means no longer depending on motivation, but embodying forward motion as who you are. The unstoppable individual doesn't wait for permission, nor do they negotiate with weakness. They act with intention, driven by a clear vision. They understand that the greatest battle is not external, but internal, the war against hesitation, comfort, and fear. To reach this level, you must rewire your identity. You don't try to be disciplined, you become discipline itself. The work is non-negotiable, the effort unconditional. Obstacles lose their power. Pain turns into fuel. Resistance becomes a challenge to conquer, not an excuse to retreat. This is the final evolution from someone struggling to stay consistent to someone who never falters, never hesitates, and never quits. Excuses vanish. There is only action. To reinforce this, write a declaration. I am relentless. I am disciplined. I am unstoppable. Read it every morning. Then prove it. Take on a challenge so extreme that it leaves no doubt in your mind that you are unbreakable. And remember, the work never ends. Growth is a lifelong pursuit. Keep showing up, keep pushing, and keep executing. This is how you build yourself into someone unshakable. This is how you become truly unstoppable.